Hello, 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 folks. This is Roger W. Knight with another installment of my little commentaries on the wonderful situation we have here in Seattle, Washington. Now, if you look at my videos that are on my little corner of YouTube, you'll see one that's titled Assault at Prefontaine Fountain. This is where I was attacked at Prefontaine Fountain by two individuals, and they managed to steal my GoPro, the camera that I am presently using to film right now. Take it for a while, but I was able to get it back. But in the meantime, there was some damage to part of my items. There is this. This is the frame that goes around the GoPro camera. And as you see, with this busted up part there, it's no longer of any use. And I had a little tripod thing. And this part kind of got busted out of here, so it's no good, as you can see. And the reason I use the tripod is because when you buy a new GoPro camera, it comes with this handle that can mount on there, and it's good for handheld purposes, but you can't set it down anywhere because it just doesn't have a bottom. Whereas this, at least, has a tripod set, so you can set it that way. And when it's not all busted apart, you know, you can have a little stand on the camera, which is how I'm using this GoPro right now. So these two parts were damaged in the attack. And that's part of the damage. It's part of the vandalism, malicious mischief, robbery, assault. These are the charges that could be laid against these two individuals by the prosecution if and when they get around to doing that. Now, as you can see here, what I have here is I put on my computer the raw video that was taken on that day. I believe it was July 17th. And as you can see, here is the Morrison Hotel. Here is the housing to the entrance of the bus stop. And beyond the housing is the Prefontaine Fountain, which hasn't had water course through it for several decades now, but it's still there, and they actually call it Prefontaine Park. Now, let's crank this on. As you can see, I'm walking past here. There's a couple gentlemen doing some work there. Here you have the little pathway between the Morrison Hotel, and there's a blue housing thing that has the entrance to what used to be the bus tunnel, but it's still a transit tunnel. They just have the Sound Transit train set there, where you can ride the electric toy train down to SeaTac Airport and Angle Lake in one direction and out to the University of Washington in the other direction, and it goes through what used to be the bus tunnel in downtown Seattle underneath 3rd Avenue. We go here. I go past that. You see the sign saying Pioneer Square. I go past this top part of the tunnel entrance, and there's the Prefontaine Fountain. That's the fountain, and that's little set here with these trees and such. They call it Prefontaine Park. And then you see the people that, as you can see, they sit around the park a lot. There's something that looks like a couple of bicycles, a garbage bag of something, and umbrellas because there's a slight rain falling. And that's what they're doing. And I go down here. Now, you see this gentleman attacked me, but he's not doing it yet. This probably is the lady that attacked me here, but before they came and attacked me. And they probably saw me walking past them with my GoPro camera. And go down there. That's a good look at the face of the man. We go here some more. This man here came out with him, but he didn't commit any crime as far as I can see, you know, in this event. But he was there. He kind of steps out, takes a good look at me. At this point in time, I'm hearing the woman's voice yelling, can I say cheese? Can I say cheese? Can I say cheese? And I kind of made a comment on there. But as I walk down here, whoa, let's top that back. We almost lost that. Can I say cheese? Can I say cheese? And this happens real fast. See how fast this happens. And there she is, Miss America. And she's reaching for me. She's trying to grab at my camera. She comes up there. And then I spin the camera, hold the camera above my head. And she's pushing at me. Push it around. There's the gentleman that hits me in the middle of the back. And she's following up. And then I go, there, you hit me. And she comes in there grabbing at the camera, yelling that I hit her first. Well, even if I hit her first, why is she coming on to me and grabbing at the camera? And then you see this little thing here. There's the Pioneer Square station. They're yelling at me. There's the gentleman. He's saying, oh, just get out of here. Just get out of here. You know, he's trying to get me to just get out of here. And such. She's yelling at me. Oops. Well, let me take a good look at this. Yeah, she's up here. Let's see. Let's back up a little. Okay, let's get there. Yeah, the guy's holding her back a bit, but not that much. And you see that, and you turn her around, and this is Prime Electric. And I got a good look at the license plate. What you see on the internet that I put in there is a lower resolution of this film. So you won't be able to read the license plate number on the internet, nor will you be able to read clearly Prime Electric. But that's the name of the company. And you see these three gentlemen apparently are employees of Prime Electric, and they're just standing around there, and they kind of don't do anything. But they were witnesses to the event. Whether the police have identified them or not, I do not know at this point in time. Maybe they did. It's hard to say. Anyway, she's reaching over here. This lady walks away, and then he's yelling at me and everything. And then she kind of comes back. I believe she comes back after this to grab at the camera some more. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes in the green shirt. Gets in my face, yells at me, grabs at the camera, yells at me, grabs at the camera, grabs at the camera. He's just grabbing at the camera. And these three guys are doing absolutely nothing. He's back up there. I call him out for hitting me. And you see all this that's going on here. And then they walk away. Now, I walk up the aisleway. I'm thinking it's all over. So I'm walking up the pathway between the bus tunnel entrance and the Morrison Hotel. And I get to the top of the pathway on 3rd Avenue. Let's give you an idea where the location is. Okay, let's shut this off. Right there. That is the King County Courthouse. This is 3rd Avenue, and the park that's on the other side of this bus is called City Hall Park. Because once upon a time, the Seattle City Hall was down in this neighborhood around this park. We probably shared the building with the King County Courthouse at that time. And the original plan was there was a grand entrance on the Jefferson Street side, which is this side, and it would open up into this little park downtown. And well, you know, that just kind of what happened to it since then. It was a nice plan in 1913 or 14, whenever they built this originally. So anyway, I'm up here. I make some commentary. You see some construction equipment there. You see the park there and some people there. And I'm up here. And then guess what happens? I'm looking that way. I'm looking that way. Looking that way. I'm at the top of the street. This is where I'm at. The gentleman's coming across with his cane. He doesn't do anything wrong as far as I can tell. I'm looking at the courthouse. I'm talking about what had just happened. And boom! Look at this. This is the hand of the guy. He hits me a couple of times. There's my hair. There's my hair here. There's the hand of the gentleman with the balding head. He's grabbing at the camera. He wrestles it away from me. And he grabs the camera. and he is running down the sidewalk with the camera. He doesn't know the camera's still functioning, but he's carrying the camera down the sidewalk. He has actually stolen the camera. That's robbery, because you force it from somebody who actually holding on to something. That's more than theft. That's robbery by definition. Robbery is an element of coercion or physical force. He used physical force to remove the camera from me. And then he slips and falls on this grate. The woman comes by. He hands the camera off to the woman. You see all this. She smashes it against the ground. And that's where this damage was done to these parts. That's when it was. But it's now leaching up for the sky. Here's the Morrison Hotel. Here are some other buildings. Here's the edge of the King County Courthouse. I think that, no, that's the Fry Hotel right there. And that's the building next to the Fry. Here's the Morrison. I reach down to pick up, boom. This lovely lady pushes on me to keep me from getting it. But I'm able to get the camera. And I was able to recover the camera, and that's why I was able to get my camera back and able to report this to the police. So that's where we're at here. Now, since then, the police have identified the man with the dreadlocks and the balding head as Dwight Milner, which I further identified as Dwight Durrell Milner. And he assaulted me at the second time. He hit me in the head several times, and this is when the damage to my glasses were done. Now, these are new glasses. Cost me about $400 to get these new glasses. $90 for another eye exam, plus another $290-something to pay for the new glasses. Plus, I was hit a couple times. I had blood splatter. I have more film of me later on that I didn't put on the internet, but I did share with the cops, where I had blood here, blood there, and I was treated for my injuries, and nothing really serious. They checked to make sure there wasn't any brain injury, any concussion, because every time you get hit in the head, if you get hit hard enough, you can have a brain injury and not realize it. But fortunately, that doesn't appear to have happened. But Dwight Milner was the name of the man. They identified the woman as a Marcia Chapman. Marcia Chapman. Her middle name I determined as Farrell. Marcia Farrell Chapman. Now, Marcia Chapman, she has a felony conviction in cause number 13-1-11789-1. And her incident was, in essence, an assault 3. A criminal negligence negligently caused bodily harm to a gentleman. She punched him while holding a box cutter, cutting his nose. So her assault was not just misdemeanor assault 4 that she was convicted of back in 2013. She had a weapon in her hand, and that weapon caused some minor damage to a guy's nose. Now, it's kind of like assault with a deadly weapon. I suppose they could have charged her with assault 2, which is a strike in Washington, but they had to go with what the jury would convict her of, and that's what she wound up having to cop a plea to. I think she copped a plea to it. Dwight Miller, he's got 2 felony beefs, and they each have a bunch of misdemeanors and infractions and other fun stuff that's on their record. In 16-1-06770-7, Dwight Milner assaulted a girlfriend, apparent girlfriend of his, named Natalie. I'm not going to say her last name on this, and violated a no-contact order that he already had there, and he threatened to kill her. And the threat wasn't just an idle threat. She had to take it seriously. Then we have a second incident at 18-1-06942-1. He attempted to strangle the same woman, and apparently, and that's definitely assault 2, which is a strike. So he's got 1 strike on his record. He gets 2 more strikes, he gets to go to jail for a long time here in the state of Washington. That's our variation of the habitual criminal law here in Washington, is we have a 3 strikes and you're outlaw. If you have 3 strikes, it was passed by initiative many years ago, and on 3 separate occasions. It can't be 3 strike felonies on one particular occasion, one prosecution. It's got to be on 3 separate ones. you can then be sentenced to jail for a good long time. Off to the state pen you go for the next couple of decades. It's almost as good as being convicted of murder, which, by the way, is a strike. I actually voted against that initiative because I was a little nervous about the assault twos being included, because, I thought, well, there's a whole bunch of different things that can be defined as assault two, like threatening somebody with a gun if you don't actually fire the gun. But if he believes you have the gun, you make him believe you have the gun, he has to take you seriously. Well, that's assault too. It's a strike. But strangling her, well, that met definition of assault too at the time he strangled her. So that was it. And there was a third incident where he threatened to kill her. Dwight, if you're watching this, maybe you should stay the heck away from Natalie. If you don't have any children in common with her, you're free to leave her the duck alone for the rest of your life. And you'd be better off if you did, and so would she. I mean, I think you two just get along like nitric acid and copper. Some couples are like that. They just get along like nitric acid and copper. They should not make contact with each other, because the results are always spectacular. A definite chemical reaction, to say the least. Bad chemistry. But anyway, that's the priors on these two people. Now, in talking about this, after I had reported this crime, the police told me that, well, Prefontaine Park, or the Prefontaine Fountain, is a popular place where drug dealers like to hang out and sell their drugs. And if you walk through there with a video camera, they might attack you, which they did. They attacked me for doing this. And I'm thinking, I was too polite to mention this to the police on this, is that, Seattle PD, if you know that that Prefontaine Fountain and the park there, the little itty bitty park there next to the transit tunnel entrance, happens to be a popular place for drug dealing, and you get the kind of thugs that intimidate normal people who are just trying to get to and from work or enjoy downtown Seattle. I mean, we're right next to a transit station where we're spending like billions of dollars on this train set to go off to the university in one direction and down to the airport in the other, with eventual plans to take it all the way to Tacoma, down through Des Moines and Kenton, West Hill, Kenton, Federal Way, on to Tacoma and Fife and places like that. And we want to extend this out to the east side, cover Mercer Island and Bellevue and Kirkland and Redmond and places like that, and then on north all the way to Everett, with side branches over to Ballard and to Kenmore and all these places. We have a lot of ambitions for this multi-billion-dollar transit system based on trains riding on these rails, and we rattle them through the tunnel. We threw the buses out of the tunnel because that way we can run the trains every minute or so and carry a lot of traffic on the trains, which, okay, fine as far as that goes. However, if one of the entrances to the station, people come right up into a drug dealing den, that might defeat the purpose of having the thing. Now, what can the police do to put an end to drug dealing at this location? Well, I don't know. Maybe they could park a cruiser right next to it. There's a parking space right there. They can park one of their Ford Crown Victorias or one of their new Expedition type of vehicles, and have a couple big guys who played football in college and majored in criminal justice just sitting there. Or they can climb out of their car, they can sit on the bumper of their car and tell the folks that, oh yeah, we got body cameras on, because we know they're camera shy. They don't like being filmed there. And you just put some priority on it. They're going to move their business somewhere else. If they want privacy, let them go to where there's privacy. That there is a public park. This is how you deal with these concentrations of drug dealers. You don't worry about getting convictions on them, you just get them to stop doing it. Oh, but, what can I say? That would require some proactive policing and an intent to actually clean up the neighborhood. Like I said, this kind of activity tends to turn people coming into jury duty, puts them in a mood to convict whatever poor soul happens to be sitting on the table in front of them. Especially if they remind them of these people standing around there dealing drugs and acting all thuggy. Well, don't act like thugs if you don't want to be treated like thugs. But, in the interest of having a fair trial, I would rather the juries not be prejudice against whatever defendant there just because they had to walk through a high crime area to get to the courthouse. Anyway, that's my rant and rave on this. My further commentary on what happened last July 17th at Prefontaine Fountain. Thanks for watching.